Yesterday, we talked a little bit about the Canaanite woman who got in Jesus' face like that spider web just got in mine. That's the risk of walking through the woods this time of year. Anyway, the Canaanite woman who got in Jesus' face, she was praying and asking and helping, and the disciple was like, "You got to send this woman away." And he's like, "Yeah, I was only sent to the lost sheep of Israel." And so she stops Jesus in his tracks, kneels, and says, "Please help me, Lord." I think I know her name, because she's a spiritual mama bear. And if you follow real Taylor Ransom, you'll know that the OG of spiritual mama bears is Church Karen. Church Karen got in Jesus' face because she knew that Jesus had the power and she believed he had the desire to heal her daughter. And then he looks at her and says, "You have great faith." And I really like the way William Barclay describes the incident, because it's really offensive to us when we read this and hear Jesus basically referring to her as a dog. And William Barclay's like, that's one way to read it. The other is to understand the interpretation of that word for dog is more like a puppy. Anyway, the real thing about Barclay's commentary that sticks out is he imagines Jesus looking at her and seeing not just her desperation, but seeing her faith in him, and smiling says to her, "It's not right to throw the family's bread to the family puppy." And then you can imagine her, another spider web, looking back up at Jesus and seeing him smiling at her, responding, "Yes, it is." Because even the puppies get the crumbs from the table. And Jesus says, "Woman, you have great faith." And her daughter was healed. What a wonderful story. And yeah, no, that's nice for Canaanite Karen, but what about us? And this was a connection we made yesterday, especially around the court cases and people today talking about postpartum depression, just how hard it is, especially with mental health. We've been there as a family, and sometimes we don't always get the exact answer that we're looking for, but I want you to know that Jesus hears your prayers and help is on the way. So hang in there. Don't be afraid to get in Jesus' face until you hear the good news from Jesus himself when he tells you you have great faith.